happy Friday, and thanks for tuning into RadioFreeRhinecliff.org. In this show in particular, correct me if I'm Norm, I'm your host, Norm, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight with Peter McCarty. Peter, how's it going?
I'm doing really good.
Are you? Your book came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, but it's like been coming out for a while. And it's like celebration and everything, but it's officially came out this last Tuesday.
Right. Yay.
And they make a big deal out of that day as like a birthday. It's like all the...
Who's they?
I guess the world at large.
Like the publishers, the distributors, and bookstores.
It's like an
and stuff.
official date that's like...
The pub
You
date.
can't even sell it, I guess, before that date or something. I don't know. I thought it was like arbitrary, but apparently it's important. That day, you know.
But you must have noticed this in the past. I mean, you have like 15 or 20 books out.
No, those were all like kids' books, like picture books. And this is different for some reason.
How would you characterize this one?
It's in that world of graphic novels,
right?
Which is when I started this book existed, but now I think it's even more established as a genre of itself. And like a display at a bookstore would be like, here's the graphic novel section. And even in libraries and people, like, you know, anime and all that kind of stuff, it seems to be more of a thing.
Right.
Versus before, it was picture books. And they're like for baby books and stuff like that, real young readers. And I would make that as an art form. And I noticed that was really nice and everything, had a really good run. But I had an idea to make a long form kind of kids book, picture book anyways. Not even thinking about the market for it.
Right.
But then, so I had a vision of making a book like this maybe 20 years ago in a way. But it was like a dream of what I would do as I was making picture books. And the idea itself really coalesced around 2007 or so, maybe, or something like that. Maybe even earlier than that. But as you're working your life, paying the mortgage, you know, doing the picture books, to transition into this took a lot of planning and thinking and getting it straight. And I really couldn't start the book, like drawing it, really heavy drawing it until like 2017, I think, when I was really pouring it on.
Okay.
But then there was a lot of drawing that led up to that started way back. Probably 2004, I was doing preliminary drawings and things like that.
And drawing what kinds of things, what elements of the story?
Well, it's like it started with art school, basically, when you think about how far back it goes. Back in like 1990, 1991, the stuff I would do in art school was very like black and white, heavy drawings that looked like Hieronymus Bosch kind of things and creepy art school angst and that energy.
Right. And
that was my portfolio when I went out into the world, and then I just got a children's book job, and that was like the run after that was doing books like Little Bunny on the Move, Hondo and Fabian, and other books like Jeremy Draws a Monster. And I had a good run that lasted, you know, it's still going on. They still want me to make those kind of books, but I knew that I had to make something that reflected more of that art school energy.
Right.
And so that's what I was kind of going toward.
And so now you've finished this book, an 8-year-long odyssey of like creating this magnum opus.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it is what you had envisioned? That art school book thing?
Yeah, I mean, what happened was, it's different, though. As along the way, the thing that exploded was the writing the words. And so when I was doing it, I thought I would write, like I would draw pictures and then like have text be printed out on the side, like a long novel that I would write myself. But then I started hand doing the lettering, and that got out of hand. And then I showed that to the editors, and they were really into that. And so that's a total surprise. So along the way, but I think a process can't be what you imagine it to be at the get-go, and then you just execute your idea. Because that's just like, even if you write a manuscript and you illustrate your own manuscript, that's still illustrating, and that's boring to me. You know what I mean? So it has to happen as you draw and as you go along. And that creates a certain energy, I think.
Well, the freedom, I mean, when you're the boss, you have the freedom to change the course of the book, the drawings and the text, whenever you want, right?
Yeah, but it's almost like you're not the boss because the muse that you try to draw through tells you, it's like, you thought you were going to make a book like this? This is what you're going to make. You thought you were going to do this. This is what you're going to do.
I want to talk about this overbearing muse a little bit. Yeah. So, I mean, I love the idea of the muse. I mean, and for me, it's shorthanded, like just the inspiration in your brain and all of the loose synapses that led you to this. Is that how you use the word?
Like a muse?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because the Greeks had this idea that there were actual sort of goddesses, the muses.
yeah, I would go more of the goddesses side rather than the architecture of a brain.
Right. And this just begs me to consider the architecture of your brain, which is fucking nuts. It's crazy. This book is so ridiculously cool and interesting, and all the time you're reading it and following along the story, and also thinking, like, who is this guy who did this thing?
Yeah, and I don't, at first, when you make a thing like this, it's like you have an empty page from wherever you're at in the story, and then you just keep moving along and let the muse kind of just do it.
Right.
So you almost try to drop out of your own identity and just let it flow and try not to bring too much to it. But then as it flows along, the authentic true self does emerge, and even the ending of the book would really solidify that.
So is there a lot of getting out of your own way to let the muse have their way?
Yeah, but I think that happened over time doing all the children's books for so many years, and then going to art school and going through just the drama of life, as where I'm doing this now, it's almost like you have an attitude where you don't care about, you don't become as much conscious about it, and you just do what you would want to do.
Right.
Does that make sense, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like there's no like obstacle of like, oh, can I do this or should I not do this? What is people going to think? I don't think that way anymore.
Well, you're like, what are you, 50 or 55 or something like that?
Yeah.
So, you've spent your whole adult life really as an artist, as a creative professional.
Yeah.
And so it seems good that you're beyond that.
Yeah, but it still bothers you though. When it's done now, though, you do want people to like it. That's what's weird now. It's like it's done, and I finished this book as far as turning in the art in entirety. Actually, I turned in all the art basically about 2 years ago. When you turn in all the art, and then it's been a lot of production and printing and like scans and just design. But then last year they said, okay, now we're ready for the cover. And they just knew that the cover would be the last thing. And then that I did this last year was the cover. And the cover's great, too. So it was
It's amazing. So the book is called The Five Wolves by Peter McCarty, and it's on First Second Press.
Yeah.
And it's an art piece. It's an actual piece of art that you can buy for not too much money.
It's amazing how it's
oblong.
Yeah.
And it's on beautiful paper, and it looks... it looks better than most of the children's books that you did.
Oh, that's so nice to hear that. I mean, it is.
Oh, yeah. The detail, one of the things in here is the amount of detail. It's insane how much detail is in every drawing. And I wanted to ask, you mentioned the cover. How long did it take you to do the cover?
Oh, it's funny because you work, like I said, I finished the artwork 2 years ago, which was basically... at least 5 years, maybe 6 years of just pure drawing, and that's what I'm doing every day, drawing, and just draw. Every day, clouds go by, the moon spins around, and you're just drawing and drawing. Then it's done, and you're happy. And you turn it in, and then there's discussion about what the cover would be. And then it was like January of last year. They're like, okay, we're ready for the cover. Can you get it done by January 17th? Like 3 weeks. I'm like, no way. And they were laughing about it too. I was like, no, I need, and also for the cover, it's got a full bleed, if you can tell,
Right.
The inside drawings are more of like smaller drawings that float on the page.
Right.
So the cover is like, I have to draw a lot more territory. And it took a long time for that cover. And I knew it was really important. So to get the energy going to make that cover, that was cool. Yeah.
Give us an idea, how many hours to do that cover?
It was a month to do that cover, and it's like a 9 to 5 kind of job, hourly wise. It's like drawing. It could be even more than that.
200 or more hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy amount of hours, but it's like it's what it's going to take, and you just start going, and you're confident that it's going to work out though.
And did you tell them what you wanted the cover to be?
No, that was the amazing part is that. I knew not to do the cover when I did it, and that's something that in children's books and everything, that the cover is something that you lay off of, because it's like if you do a cover and make a book, they're going to change it. They're going to, like, some marketing people are really good at it. And I just stayed off of it, and I had a vague idea of what the cover would be. But a designer that's part of our team came up with this cover design, and they politely presented it to me. And actually, I got the presentation of what this cover design would be really late, because didn't you see this yet? And I go, no, I hadn't seen it. It's like, oh, well, look at it. You open up your file here, and it's like they didn't send it to me. And so I opened it up and I'm like, oh my God, this is a great idea. So when you work with, like, people have cover ideas and design, it's really good to hand off some responsibilities off to other people in the team. There's a big team of people that are making this book.
Who's in the team?
Well, it's my editor is Mark Siegel, who's the publisher of
First Second.
He's in charge of that, I think, and he's really nice. He makes his own graphic novels too, so he's really good. But he let me just go. I mean, he didn't edit me too much in the process of what's going on. So what you see is really my whole thing. But he was there in the background, like he would come in if something was happening. But the other team member was Kirk Benshoff, he's the head of graphic design, or what would you call it? He was the designer of First Second, like the head one. And then he has under him a bunch of designers, and the designer that made this cover was Sunny Lee. And she came up with that cover on her own. And it was just so amazing. And then when she brought that up, and I was like, oh my God, it was so good. It was her idea to have that. She took a drawing from inside the book and expanded it and made a mock-up of it. And I was like, okay, that's going to be a good idea. Now I'm going to go draw this. And it came out like an album cover. It looks really good to me. It's just really good. And that's the idea of the book too, is to feel like an album, like a rock and roll album. I mean, like an old 70s progressive rock album. That's what I would really want the effect to be, like really moody like that.
Right. And there's music features has a big role in the book.
Yeah, I think it's in there. Yeah, there's some music in there, and all kind of forms of creativity, I think, is in there.
Yeah.
But also there's a musical quality of just when you start the book. When I started drawing the book, I pretty much started the whole process by drawing the first drawing, getting out my fancy pen like you're playing a musical instrument, and just going, it has got a rhythm to it. And you just draw one drawing, turn the page, do another drawing, keep going.
What is your fancy pen?
Oh, I should have brought it in. But it's just a rapidograph pen.
Okay.
It's like something that you can get in art supply stores.
0.01
it's
or...
the tiniest tip you can get. And I started with normal human tips that most people would draw with, but then I started like going smaller and smaller to a 0.13 they have. It's like 6 zeros, negative. It's like, it's,
right.
It's so tiny, and it feathers the ink out and so precisely. But then Kirk Benshoff, the designer, he came up with this method to reproduce it in like a 1200 dot per inch method that is like keeps all the detail and so precise, and that's how you get all the lettering and everything like that. So
the accessibility of the detail here is really something else that sets it apart from your other books.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Yeah,
thanks. I mean, you can see that there's a lot of detail in all of your drawings and all of the other books, all the children's books, but you can really dive into every element of the detail. And I wanted to ask, like the cover, there's, I guess, like 10,000 little marks, and it's the hair on the wolf. Yeah. Have you ever counted how many?
Yeah, well, I got to admit, every line in the book, it's part of my brain counts every one of them. So now I'm on 2,350,000,000,000, something like that I'm at. It's counting. No, you would never be able to do that. That would be insane. It's like, that would be like, there's no like quantity like, this is
busted my chops.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But
no, it's like that quantity effect. It's like, it is insane.
But I know. How many do you think? I mean, if you had to guess.
I think it's like sand on the beach or stars in the galaxy universe.
Right.
It's tremendous. But it's like it's just like a buzzing thing that just goes like almost like maybe like a hummingbird or something like that. Like would you count like how many times a hummingbird flapped? It's just tremendous.
People have.
I guess so. But then again, if you put a camera on me to watch me go, then I would just seize up, I think. It's one of those things where it can't be observed.
So you never did any like time lapses of you?
No, they
drawing the
asked for
page?
videos of me drawing, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Also, the muse, like we're talking about, would not want like that. The muse does not want anybody watching this. You know?
Do you have numerous muses?
No, it's probably just one
The one.
one big one. Yeah.
One big one. Does the muse have a name?
No, I don't know.
How do you think about the muse?
No, it's just there.
but-
I mean, it's me. I mean, whatever that is, you know.
Right.
It's like
It's she, he, they, them, whatever. It's just there.
yeah, it does feel ancient, though. It does.
Do you ever feel like you are making the muse especially happy or making the muse especially upset?
That's kind of a weird question. This is fun.
Yeah,
talking
good.
about this
Oh, good.
because I never really thought about it like that, and
Well,
I don't
inspiration.
want to get the muse upset. Back at home, it's going to get really mad at me in some way. But the thing is, the muse is kind of doesn't care about what happens. It just demands that it gets drawn like it does.
Right.
The writing is the way it is, and it's just like whatever anybody on the outside, like people like friends, librarians.
Right.
I'm not drawing for
Your-
them, or even other
your-
kids.
Your
I'm not thinking-
wife.
yeah,
your
no, yeah, it's not
kids.
even, it's not for anybody. It's like, I don't know what it is, but when you want people to like it though. I mean, it's kind of fun.
Sure, of course.
But I'm just kidding around. But the thing is though, when you set yourself up in the morning on my drawing table with the lighting at a certain way and you're ready to go, it's really bliss, you're just moving along.
And
It's
what
just
kind of light do you use?
like natural light, from a window. I tilt my drawing table up to it.
Oh.
And try to have the natural light. Sometimes I add a lamp, around, but
Right.
it has to come in from the left side because I'm right-handed.
Because you're right-handed, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to make a shadow or something like that. And yeah, setting up the lighting is tricky. But.
So do you pretty much work sun up to sundown?
Yeah, you know what though? There's kind of like an interesting pattern that was happening. Was like I like the mornings. But when I was working on this book, I was moving. I was really, I had a plan and I had to do this. And it was like, get up in the morning, walk the dog, drink coffee. And it's like 6:30 sometimes when you start doing it. And then I would kind of draw till like maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then go play golf or something.
Right.
And then do sports things and do that for a few hours and then come back and draw some more a little bit later, so like bonus time later. But
Right.
it adds up, though.
Well, it's a summertime schedule.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, it gets dark at 4:30 or whatever.
Oh, that's true. But, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't need the daylight to draw by. I can still draw at night with
Okay.
lamps and stuff like that, yeah.
Right. And do you see the influence of different kinds of days, like on a cloudy day or an overcast day or a really dark day or a really bright day? Does
Yeah.
that have any effect on what you're doing?
Not really. But, you'd never use natural sunlight pouring in. You have to avoid that. Like most
Right.
artists have northern windows,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. That's about it. Sometimes I have to pull the shades down if it's too much sunlight pouring in the room and that sort of
Oh,
thing.
do you get direct sunlight?
Yeah, the room I have has a couple
fucking
windows that get that,
nuisance.
and I just shut those windows down. So
Right.
It's something I have to deal with once in a while. Yeah.
Right. So this book, The Five Wolves, I can't say enough, so gorgeous. What was the first germ of the idea for this book?
Yeah.
What was the first thing the muse threw into your noggin?
Well, in around 2004, 5, 6, I was going out with Hondo and Fabian to California to try to pitch a TV show.
Which is another book, a children's book
Yeah,
you did.
that was the famous book. Yeah, that's as far as my career, it's like the one a Caldecott honor, and it's like a really successful book. And in the 2000s and so, there was a whole phase of like Nick Jr. and Disney. They wanted to they made a lot of those animated TV shows. It was like a really good thing. And so I
Right.
was going out there to pitch the idea, and it got optioned. And while I was out there trying to make a TV show out of Hondo and Fabian, which would have been good, and that would have been nice, I was just having a lot of meet and greets with people in the movie industry, and they were like, they saw my college or my art school drawings, because I brought that in my little portfolio. I showed them what I was working on and other things, and they're like, we want that, can you have more of that? And at that point, I did start drawing hypothetical drawings of worlds and these characters would start emerging that are in the style of this Five Wolves. And I just, for years and years, I kept on remaking Where the Wild Things Are. You just have you just imagine what the industry wants, or make a movie. Wouldn't that be great? And it's just like kid on an adventure.
Right.
And then eventually, though, I had to stop and go back, and I made a lot of other children's books in the process, but I just kept drawing possible world. And it was around, I don't know when it was, but it was like I did all these drawings that are really beautiful, and they're mostly in pencil. And I drew this boat with these wolves standing on the boat. And I go to the Met a lot, in New York, and I go to the museums. I'm listening to my headphones. I'm looking at imagery. And I saw this picture of a boat. I think it's a famous painting. People probably would know about it. I have to look it up, but it's like a painting of a boat. I think it's on the Erie Canal even. And there's like a dog on the boat. And it had this that character on a boat. And I started drawing these wolves on a boat that the boy would meet in this hypothetical adventure. Then I realized, and a good friend of mine said he saw some of these drawings, and he was a guy that would be on one of those Bering Sea fishing boats.
Oh, geez.
And he told me a story like, oh, yeah, your pictures are nice, but when you're on a boat, he described the way the boat moves, and people who are out at sea are able to stand upright and move with the boat. And the way he described it was like, oh yeah, you're pretty right. So then I went back and drew the wolves more skinny and standing up straight, and you can see it on the back cover that the way that they're standing on the boat is like part of the development of like the way they would turn out to be. And so I drew the wolves on a boat, and I go, that's what the book's going to be about. The Five Wolves, they're going to, and then you're just going to, a lot of books and movies have this like Narnia, how it was like through the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's always this entryway from like the child's world into this fantasy world. And I just I just wanted to zoom in on the planet. You go over the ocean, you see the boat, and then there's five wolves on a boat. And they just start like, you see that shark over there or that fish? We're going to draw that fish. And they just start painting this and I knew there were going to be five artist wolves. I don't know what that was.
Which is a great turn in the narrative of this book, because you zoom past into the world and all over the sea and all the clouds and all this stuff, and you see the wolves in the boat, and then the shark's approaching.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then a shark gets there, and they're like, we're going to draw the shark.
Yeah.
And it's such a happy turn, but also kind of announces the overarching theme of this book, which is creativity and art and making art.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. There's some influences, some movies that you would see, some stories, and I kind of like that artist journey effect in stories and movies.
Right.
And like even movies like, the Michelangelo movie. What's that movie called? They made a movie about it, and I read the book too.
Well, sorry, go on.
No, go on. No, go.
I was going to ask, who were some of your other influences?
Well, the wolves themselves are kind of, I think they're like conquistadors in a way too. When you see that they're on their adventure and they got these kind of Spanish names, they are really meant to be like on this adventure where they arrive in this new world, and they're going to paint. They're going to become famous and paint in that
their
world.
names like Don Pedro Lupin.
Yeah, Lupine.
Lupine. It brings you straight to Cervantes.
Yes. That is in there, too. And one of the good reviews that I got was comparing it to that. Like, they had a word for that, picaresque, where it's like a rogue character on an adventure. And that's really, they nailed it with that review. It was really nice. So it's like, it was, that Cervantes-esque kind of thing. It definitely is in there.
Right.
It's part of the things I layered upon. But, my favorite artists are like Velázquez and
Goya.
Well, yes, exactly. And then I love, I love Caravaggio too, especially because, Caravaggio's biography is pretty intense because he's like a guy who would wear a sword and they would fight in the streets. They're like gangster artists. So that was a pretty big influence. You know what I mean? Did you ever hear about that with Caravaggio?
No.
They would. It's like if you look on any like biography about it, you can see that. he was on the run with the law because he murdered somebody, and then he was like an
Yes.
art, they would get in fights with other artists, and it was like I think that was a motivation to make this story with the wolves and then the rival band of the cats,
Right.
and then they fight, with swords and guns and cannons and stuff, and so to be like a fighting artist, I thought that would be really cool.
And have you been a fighting artist? Have you been? Have you?
Oh, I never got in a fight about it, physically, but.
But you were in art school. I mean, did people yell at each other about various theories and movements and stuff?
Yeah, I guess at that, that's kind of interesting because in art school, when you go there, you have this angst of like, where do you stand, and you get there and you see all the other students and there's a certain level of competition.
Right.
And you want to be the best artist in the school. And so it is a kind of a thing where when you're painting the figure and you have these model painting classes, there's some students there that are great, and you're trying to paint as good as them, and the teachers are painting and they're really great, and there's a certain kind of competition with that, and I think that's kind of comes out in the book too, as far as that drama of that kind of thing.
Oh, the competition.
Yeah.
So without giving too much away, the thugs roll up in their boat, and it's the cats.
Yeah.
And the cats and the wolves are sort of trash talking each other's art.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's just like, what did you? The cats show their art and the wolves laugh at it.
Yeah.
And it gets the cats really angry.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that rolls through the book, where they run into each other later in the book too. And I don't think I'm giving anything away. And also, I really want to help the audience know what's going on, because the book is kind of complicated when you look at it and all the dazzling crosshatches and lettering. I hope it's not too confusing. So I don't think I'm going to be giving anything away, but if anybody...
I don't think you gave any. You could read the entire plot and it wouldn't give anything away, because, the lettering, as you mentioned, and the illustrations and the way that, there'd be like a page packed with hundreds and hundreds of words.
Yeah.
And then the bigger words are the narrative of the story. And then the littler words are sort of like relating to the narrative and the story and the bigger words.
Yeah, and there's patterns in the little words. There's like little themes that repeat constantly.
Yeah. So I think
there's patterns in there. No doubt.
So I think it's be impossible to give it away.
Yeah, I know,
too
but then
much,
people
because
want it to be obvious what it is. Any criticism I have of this is that it's not so easy to. To me, it is easy to get. I look at it and go, there it is. But it's like, it's like they're looking for. I don't know. It can be confusing. It's like, what letters am I supposed to read first?
Right.
But it's obvious to you, isn't it, that you can read whatever you want. You can just look at only numbers and just enjoy that little corner of a drawing and not even look at anything else.
Right.
But it's like, the bold letters is what you're supposed to really follow. At the end of the book, I thought I was going to put an appendix in there, and it's like, this is the main poem.
Would love to see an
Oh,
appendix.
you want that?
Well,
No, my editor didn't want that.
I
Makes it seem like the audience wouldn't be smart enough to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I want more of all of this book, and
No, but it's the words that are in there, but it would be too obvious. Like, it makes you feel like, don't you get it? You need this help.
Oh no, I don't think so at all.
Well, that's after
the story was easy enough to follow. One of the things I really like about you as a storyteller, and this is present in some of your other books too, you don't connect all the dots. It's not like, and
that's what I mean. I didn't want to put that
then
appendix
they brought
in there
out their cannon,
Yeah.
and then they fired it at the other boat. Then the other boat splintered apart, and they say you leave out some of the connective tissue of the narrative, and allow the readers to connect it themselves.
Well, with the experience of children's books, you really want to jump the beats. Or the moments, like they blow them away, and that's a funny moment too in the story. It's like meow means fire the cannon in cat language, and they go meow 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 meow. Fire, that means fire. And at the time when I wrote my manuscript and I was writing the words, I thought it would be like, fire, the cats fire the most horrible cannon. And then I was writing it with the lettering, and it was like meow 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 meow.
Right.
The cats, that means fire the cannon in cat language in small letters, and all these things emerge. And then you turn the page and you see crack, boom, the boat explodes. And then you turn the page and you see them underwater, and you get this blue lettering thing that's like down, down, down below, and all this. But it's almost like you're drowning, and your mind is chattering as you're going under. Like you are the wolf, and like your brain chatter stuff. That's what a lot of that lettering is. It's supposed to be consciousness and like, the way the brain chatters around, and then down, where am I now, or something. I'm going down below. Who's down there? My brain goes back and forth. Like it's like, but Norm's sitting there. No, he isn't. No, it's like back and forth. Yes, no, it's not black, white. It's like this duality that's constantly running.
Yeah, and the shit you just said really comes across in the text.
I think so
this
too.
Stream of consciousness that's related to the through story and the page's illustration. I mean, it really comes through.
It's supposed to be, it really is deep. It's like I'm making it for the kids. And it's like, oh, it's too hard for them to understand. And it's like, no.
Did your publisher have an idea of the ideal age for the
No, it's
reader?
like, I think they're doing that now. And I was just at Comic-Con, and I was at Books of Wonder bookstore, and trying to get a sense of the audience, who this is for. But I would say anybody older than 10, I would think was good.
Right.
And I know as a 10-year-old, I would love this. I had a brain that would just want this, and my friends were. That's not like I was special. It was like all my friends would be into this kind of thing. We were all into. We didn't like consume things that were meant for kids. We all watched like Bugs Bunny cartoons, and those were adult stuff. And I always liked that kind of thing. I always couldn't stand when movies, it was later. For example, I was already an adult, but when Jurassic Park came out. It's like, oh, a dinosaur movie, first animated dinosaur. I was so excited. But if I was a kid and I saw that and they just put these like girl and a boy in the story for you, that would have made me so upset. I would not want that. So like, I really am. I want this. I want kids to get this.
Right.
But I don't want to like make it for them, and that's insulting, I think, to them. And I would pick that up right away. If I was a kid, I'd be like, I could tell. So it's really not. That's what I'm hoping the market would be for if it was for somebody. But I would want this for high school, college age, even.
Oh yeah,
why
there's
not?
there's no Dick and Jane here to sort of like point it to like 9-year-olds or 6-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah, but when you're making it, you're going for it, and then you just make an art. Like I'm making this as an art form.
Right.
But that to some people that kind of sounds like, oh, is this art or is it a book? It's like, well, I don't know what that means.
Well, yeah, but you're a book artist. I was thinking, how am I going to describe you in this little
like a
promo
good writer is an artist too, or what's the word artist? It's just you're making that thing, and it's like, yeah. But everyone's. They're pretty happy about it and everything like that. And
they
so,
being the publisher,
reviewers, all that's going pretty good. So,
Right.
but it is tricky to
since
try.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but it's like, no, the reviews come out actually you get this, reviews come out over the summer, and they come in on my emails, like they send me, oh, we got a star review from this company, Kirkus, right out of the bit. And they're really lovely reviews, but then, that's stressful, when you see those reviews, and they've mostly been really, really good. And there's a momentum that picks up with it. But, some people don't get it quite. They're looking for maybe a kid's book, and they think it's too much for them or something like that. So that's not really the point.
Will be a lot for sort of your typical 4 or 5-year-old for sure.
It's not a bedtime book,
So when you read the reviews, or do you have? People have different policies. Like,
well, I don't want to read them, but they send them to me, like
the publisher,
my publishers, and there's like a team of people that are like really nice. Various people that send me an email of like, congratulations on my editor Mark Siegel would send me an email like, congratulations, you got this review, and this review, and that momentum has been building up all summer, so that's been really nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so now, are you getting? Is your editor sending you sales figures?
No, it's too early for that, I think. And also, I am nervous about that kind of thing, but then I shouldn't be. But you have to be. I don't know. I don't know how it did. Maybe it won't sell so much because it's so strange. I don't know.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
And it's magnificent.
Thanks.
It's so freaking good. So when you're reading the reviews, do you read things? You read people misinterpreting it in a beautiful way?
Oh no, that hasn't. The reviews that, there's one review wasn't so good, and it was like they just couldn't get into the lettering because it's so complicated. And where do you even begin?
Oh my God! I'm halfway through. I'm like, I need a font. I need to have that lettering as a font that I can use all the time.
Yeah, like
it's so beautiful.
But I didn't have a problem with it. As far as like. But that would be the one criticism. But like it'd be hard to follow. To follow what's going on. But maybe for a young audience, maybe that would be hard, or to read it to a child or something like that. But I think it's a book that you would lay it down with somebody, like a child, and let them be alone with it.
Right.
And so what I've been hearing from friends that have children that are 10 and up is that they love it. They just left alone with it and they can't stop looking at it.
Right.
So that's the point, really, to draw you in. It's supposed to be entertaining, that like a read. Get it over with and you're done. Well, isn't that a nice story? It's supposed to be like you keep coming back to it, and like listening to music. Like you just don't listen to an album one time and go, "Oh, that was good." You can give it to Bob now. He can take it. No, you want that. You want to keep listening to it.
Do you listen to music when you're drawing?
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I mean, not like all the time. But sometimes you can get yourself overly worked up.
That was the third time you referenced music. You talked about skipping beats. Before
music.
we went on air, you said that the reader should be with it like they are with music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And no, I mean, it's completely a musical quality to it that even the plot, if it is confusing to whatever degree, it's almost like the plot of an opera, like a rock opera. Like I think of like Tommy, The Who, or Quadrophenia by The Who. I almost want it to feel like that, where it's like you just got to keep listening to it and you pick out things from it, or you invent your own meaning in it. That's partially there too, but it's in there though. I mean, if you look deeply in there, it's really precise. I think
really precise,
as far as like the plot and what happens. It's
right.
not like it's arbitrary things happening. It gets to a point where the wolf is making planets. He's like creating planets. That means he's kind of in the afterlife. Like he goes into the afterlife and he gets the job of making the planets.
Oh, right.
That's what the story is.
Right.
And it's not, I didn't want to make it obvious, like, boom, violent. I wanted to, consciously, if you slipped like, say you go outside and you slip and fall and you die and you ended up in the afterlife, it would be kind of, it would flow into it and you would not necessarily, that's the feeling I want you to have.
And success, because when I read it, I thought, oh, now they're in a different place and they're doing these different things.
Yeah.
They have these different powers.
You can almost assume that, like when he drowns, that they ended up on the beach and they're in this other world. It's like they go underwater and they end up on the beach.
Yeah.
The dragon blows down their mural that they paint on a castle.
Right.
And everything gets burned in flame and everything goes orange too for a moment.
I love that.
And then and then the whole book shifts into a black and red tone. So it's like these moments or these times change, like their existence changes. And it's supposed to be like that.
It's so beautiful. Let's just talk about everything going orange.
Yeah.
It's a double-page spread.
Yeah. And that's all you get. It's like orange.
Little orange hashes.
Yeah.
Just little hash marks on the page.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and peaceful and meditative. And one of the things I like about those pages, there are a few of them in the book, is the book is so dense and there's so much to look at and think about. And then it's assault of visual and written assault on the brain. And then you get to one of those pages and it's like,
I know.
It's so beautiful.
I know. And I think I'm inventing this, I don't know if any other books do it. So I'm nervous now that, do people get this? You get it, and I hope that, I just have to assume the viewer out there is ready for this, but then I don't want to think. I want to think about the next project too. I don't even, now this is done, and I'm happy it's out there, but it's a little weird.
But you're not, when you're writing it, when you're drawing it, you're not necessarily thinking about the viewer. You're thinking about making this vision come true and making the muse happy.
Yeah. But then I do like showing it to people. Well, I like people, like, I think, Norm, you've come to visit me and saw it at the studio, and you would see the artwork there, and I would love to get your feedback, and I would get feedback from certain trusted people, like, what do you think? What's going on here? Do you get it? What's going on?
Right.
And, but it was so overwhelming that you wouldn't be able to consume only a few pages at a time. It's like, You just get a sequence of things. But I knew what I was in, and I knew that it would have. That's kind of a thing too. Is like you don't see it until it's all bundled up in the book. It's all like I have stacks of drawings. Send it in. They put it together in a file. They print it, and you don't notice what it really is until it's printed and bound up, and then you can't even. It's so bizarre. Like
when
this.
you saw it all together for the first time, was it in a printed gallery or a PDF or?
Well, the PDFs were complicated. They were all kind of mixed up, and we had to kind of reassemble them, and like so. Let's
It must
make
have been
this.
huge files.
Yeah, and it was like that was complicated, and I didn't enjoy that part. But the thing is, and they did edit a couple things, like little misspellings and things like that. Not as much as you would think, but there was some funny, like you would forget. Like a big important word that you write in thick ink and you forget like the letter L. It's just like there's a commercial where they made the Chiefs in the end zone and they wrote chefs really slowly to read.
Right.
It's like that. Sometimes you're carefully drawing something and you forget some letter and you're like, oh my God. But you know what though? When I made the book though, I would draw whatever drawing I'm at, and if I made a major blunder, I would just start over right there and then and make another one, and it's just most of the drawings have a reject, like a first serve, second serve, like in tennis. And I would say I have a stack of about 50 or 60 rejects where you see the drawing moving along until, that's not right.
Oh,
Start over again
jeez.
and then do another one. And that's kind of fun.
And
That's kinda cool.
and so you use the like 0.000013 rapidograph.
Yeah.
What kind of paper do you draw on?
Oh, it's like a 140-pound hot press Fabriano Artistico paper. And during COVID,
So it's super smooth.
no, it's got a little tooth to it. It's hot press
does.
watercolor paper.
Okay.
But it's got a little bit of a tooth that the pen goes perfectly over.
Nice.
And so it kind of grabs it a little bit to where it flows out and I can feel it, as I'm drawing. It's not super smooth like Bristol board.
Right.
It's smooth enough, though, where it can absorb the ink as well. And it was funny because I had a big stack of it and I would go buy it down at a Rhinebeck art supply store. And I would just buy it, sheets at a time. But then they ran out, and it was COVID, and it was like, oh my God, we don't have any more of it. And then I had to run over to Catskill Art Supply, and they're like, yeah, we ran out of it too. And then they looked online, and they say, yeah, there's no more in the country, except for we found this one supply of it. 10 packs of it are left. Should we order that? I'm like, yes, order all of it. And then, but I bought 5 packs of it, which is about, 50 pages, and I cut them into 4 pieces, and so I almost bought all the Fabriano paper in the country, just so that you want to, keep it all the way to the end of the book.
And
But I did leave 5 packs for other people to use. So that was generous.
very kind of you.
And I think they got it going again, so I think it's all right.
Yeah, I was going to ask, but they did. And so are you working on a new project now?
Well, I mean, I just keep experimenting, and the book I'm doing now is really I just started doing a counting book, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out of it this story emerges, and it becomes the story Rabbit Road, and it goes to 100, and it's got this number play and immersion of a story, and it's really mathematical and complicated,
Right.
and it's like another thing where it's kind of high level, but it's like not really for little kids, but maybe it could be, and so it's very experimental right
It's
now.
for MIT professors.
Yeah,
it's,
which are getting younger and younger these days, right?
there
So
you
they
go.
could be like a 10-year-old MIT professor that's ready for this
Sure
book.
would
I
be
think that could be
surprised.
good. That would be really
Now,
good.
I saw some of that book, the 100
Oh
book.
yeah, right, yeah.
And thanks for sharing. And it's, again, you don't connect all the dots. So like you'd look at like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the next page you'd be, for example, expecting an 8 on that page. And it's like, well, where is the 8? And then you have to look and say, oh, are there 8 of those objects?
Yeah.
And
Well, like it would be a thing where it's like 1, 2 are just 1, 2 creatures with 1 and 2 on them, and then 3, 4 some more creatures. So I had these groups of 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 were a bunch like creatures that had words on their shirts, And so it would be like 5 in a sentence, 6 in a sentence, and the story emerged on their shirts. And then I left that behind, and then it became 9, 10, 11, and they're playing cards with like clubs and diamonds and little creatures too.
And are you
And it's just
working?
really weird. I mean, it's just, and then it's turning into a thing where I knew I was putting playing cards in there because there's going to be a scene where this rabbit is going to play cards with this Big Cat Williams, like I'm calling him right now.
Right.
And I'm at that point too, where they play cards, and the cat or the rabbit in the story is supposed to be almost like a Steve McQueen character, but he's also reminds me now when I'm drawing him
Like
of
from Bullet or The Great Escape?
yeah, but it's also now thinking about it, he's kind of looking like Robert Redford in. He's looking like Robert Redford in The Sting. You remember how Robert Redford is like,
Right.
He's cheating and jumping out of windows and running down the street to get away because the rabbit has the fastest hands and feet in Carrot County, and he's trying to cheat the cat in cards, and it's silly because he draws 5 aces, like, oh, he's going to get away with that, and he has to jump out the window, and it's a fun thing that's flowing along, but I do want to get it to the end where he's a race car driver and he wins the race at the end.
So what are you up to now?
46. So I'm like halfway done. And but the thing is, I don't know if the publishers really understand what I'm doing. And I'm doing it right now, and I'm not really under a contract for this book. And it's just so strange.
Right.
And that's what I'm up against. It's just like these books are so strange that I think they're good, but they're not mass market kind of books. And if you ever go to the bookstore, you see the books that are there these days, right? They're really heavy, digital, graphically. They're effective, like almost like products, They've got big names and they work. Like, hey, and they work. But
yeah.
And then I get lost in that. Maybe people aren't used to seeing the things I'm doing,
They get lost unless they're marketed very well. I mean, if I don't know what kind of marketing is going on, but if it were up to me, and I was your publisher, I would really promote. It took you 200 hours to do this one, and there's like 10,000 pen marks on a page, and it's a rapidograph 00016, and it's on this like hot press paper. I would really dive deep into the technique and the time because it's so impressive to look at this and to have done things not even close, but in that direction myself. I'm like, fuck, the amount of detail, the amount of time that goes into this is spectacular. And I think people like that.
I would. I mean, but I hope it doesn't look like you can try too hard, though. The kids have a phrase like that, trying too hard.
Try hard.
Yeah. So you don't want to be like, oh, look at, it's like effort, like it's a belabored thing. But I don't think it looks like that. I hope it feels
it doesn't.
I'm enjoying doing it and listening to music while I go, that it's meditative, and like music, like you're just playing music and just flowing along with it. So I don't like to think about the time too much, like how long it took. Actually, it's like,
no.
I almost want to. It's almost like saying your age.
But
like, oh yeah, I'm 49. I'm not. It took about 3 years, and really it was like 6 or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm just
it's
thinking,
like I'm afraid.
Thinking about the marketing of this.
Yeah.
Here's this thing I called in my promo magnum opus. So far, I would want it marketed as that.
No, they're really behind it. I mean,
they are. How good.
First second has been amazing. I mean, as far as everything's been top of the line.
Right.
They're really, really good.
Oh, that's good.
So it's been great,
So you've got this new book, the counting book, and you said that you're not under contract for it yet. And that made me think, what's the wife think about that?
Oh, it's funny. I
mean, you're a 2-income household.
Oh, yeah. But Yunhee, I mean, it's just like, I do, I need the money, but I mean, it's what are you going to do? I needed my agent. I have a really great agent too. So it's like my agent is Holly McGee, and she's at Pippin Properties, and we're going to make this book made. I'm not worried about it. It's just we just haven't signed it down yet, And it's just like, where does this, belong, and how are we going to market this one too? And even this new counting one is even stranger than this one. And I showed it to the editor, and I think they're going to do it, but they're like, and what are we going to do with this one now? And that's the way this one is. I went at Comic-Con, right? And so it's like you see all these comic booky things that are beautiful books, and they sell well. They win awards. My first second wins all these awards, and they have all these artistic graphic novels, but they mostly have panels and word bubbles and their comic book design. And then they lay down this book, and they want to experiment. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're a really good publisher. Like they're in that world of graphic novels, but they still want to take risks. And my book is a risk, no doubt about that. There's no other books like it.
Right.
And so it's a risk because you get most outstanding reviews, but then you get one reviewer, it's like, I don't get it, and it's like,
Well, when you just described, that's your experience so far with this book.
Yeah.
Lots of people like, this fucking masterpiece, and then somebody scratched their head and said, I don't get it.
Yeah. And that's just normal.
And then what are you going to do? Yeah.
I know. I mean, that's the way it is with some of my favorite things, like
all
like
of my
one of the
favorite
reviewers compared it to Monty Python, and which is like, I love that. I was so happy to get that comparison because that's exactly what I would like it to be like. The comedy in there is like Monty Python.
Right.
And, but as a little kid, I love that. I love that. But not everybody in the neighborhood, not everyone likes Monty Python.
Right.
That's why I was just thinking about that today. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like,
sure.
I think, like you're saying, my wife, she doesn't really like Monty Python that much. And sometimes I'm working on something and she doesn't quite get it either, and I can't worry about what she thinks.
And did she tell you, like, I don't know what's going on here?
Yeah, she liked the counting book. Like, it was an idea we came up with together. And then I started going off and making this, like, Robert Redford rabbit. It's called Rabbit Road now, and it's just so cool. And it's set in that era. It's set almost a Depression era, like on the road. But there's going to be race car driving, so it's going to be like old-fashioned cars. I don't know. It's strange, So it's like she's like, I've taken over. She wanted it to be more like a kid's counting book. That's like typical, like that. Little kids.
She sounds like a super supportive, super cool partner.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. No, and so the thing is that, in our whole lifespan, you can see, look at the Five Wolves. You see there's a princess in there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the book, there's a picture of the girl and the boy, and that's me and her.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so that's kind of like, it's like the reality of the wolf creating is the reality I'm in. And so you just wake up and, there's my wife and me, and that's the way, it's like a creation story where that's the way it is.
And she's the princess in your book.
No, she's wearing a Korean dress. She brings out the cake. It's the best part of the whole book, and she rides off on a pony. And it's really, the princess part of the story is really good. I'm really happy about that.
I did really love that.
And it is dedicated to her in a way. And at the end, you see a picture of her and me, and it's a very romantic book too.
Right.
Yeah.
And how does she feel about that, about being a part-time creative partner to you in these things?
Oh yeah, no, she loves it. I think
Yeah.
It's and then also I just put like Suki is in a lot of my books, and Henry's
This is your
in the
daughter,
books. Yeah,
and your son,
and they so you bring in the family and they go in. They're like I used to, like the new book with the rabbit is called it's called Rabbit Road. I think it's going to become, but it's like Henry Rabbit lived in an old town with old car. It's just like and it's just like, Henry, it's not you. I just got to use the name. It's a Henry Rabbit. It's like a perfect name.
Right.
So I'm using that name. It's just like, here's another book with Henry in it. I made a book called Henry in Love. That's another one.
I saw that. They have it up at the Star Library.
That's a really good book. That's another one of those books where it got really good reviews. It's a good book. I think really people should read that book.
I think that's the book, I'm pretty sure, where it says he got ready for the day. Can you see this picture?
Yeah.
And it's the doors open on the bathroom, and he's standing taking a leak in the toilet.
Yeah, but anybody who has boys, when they're growing up, you wake up in the morning, you're laying in bed there, and the kids get up, they go down, open the door. You just hear that every morning, and it's just part of the day.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I went to the Star Library. I'm sitting at the kids' table on a tiny little chair, like flipping through the book, your other books, and I'm like, oh, look at that. Didn't expect that.
I know. I love that.
Yeah,
no, that was a good book too. I mean, I thought that would be a huge hit, but it's like it did pretty well. But
right,
but that was the thing where it's like these children's books I was making these books, and it's just like, there's just so many books out there. I knew I had to make this Five Wolves book to be just so different than everything else. That's why it's just
Five Wolves. He's doing number one. There's numbers in all of your books. Numbers play a big role. Yeah. And in this one, the Five Wolves, on the first page, so you stand, they got the number 42 on their jersey.
Well, that's like that frontispiece, I think they would call that. When you open a book, you get like a page there, and it's the rabbit standing there. And he shows up later in the
Why
story.
42?
It's just when you...
Is it Douglas Adams?
That's a good one. I mean, it could be that, but it's not consciously that. It's just
Right.
when you're drawing the rabbit and the fur and you lay down a number, 42 just looks good. And so it's a good number. My mother was born in 1942, and I think there was a movie called The Summer of 42.
Oh,
So
there
42
was.
is a good number, though. That's a positive, happy number.
Then the shark is 23.
Yeah. It's just like when you're there, you just start drawing a 2 and a 3. It's just,
Love
they
that.
look good. They're not like meant like I'm thinking of any kind of numerology, but that might be emerging through the muse that's making this. Maybe there's something like that.
Right.
And I just like the numbers. I like numbers on a surface of a thing that I'm drawing, because it's like you're drawing on a 2-dimensional surface of a 3D thing, and then you draw a 2-dimensional thing on a surface of a thing that you're drawing, and it gives it more shape.
It's so much shape, so beautiful.
Yeah.
So we only have a couple minutes left, and we didn't get to Sunday's reading at Oblong.
Yeah.
So right here in Rhinebeck, Oblong Books, most amazing place. I sat there and started reading your book. What time is that on Sunday?
At 2:00, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's posted online. It's 2:00. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. I'm saying I'm pretty sure, but it is 2:00 Sunday.
All right, 2:00 Sunday. I'm going to be there.
On that would be the 19th, right? 19th Sunday, and that is considered my launch signing. Like that's the first one after
good.
the official release on Tuesday. I did a signing at Comic-Con and at Books of Wonder in New York, but those are part of panels of discussion, and they had it was more of like a discussion about graphic novels. But this one's personally my book release.
So are you going to read from the book or
I'd
talk
love
about
to.
it?
I would love to be able to. You can't read the whole book because that would be like reading a trillion lines.
Right,
You
yeah,
can't
never.
do that. But I want to be able to read certain phrases and books to see the pattern that you're, to assist people on how you should read it, maybe.
Right.
I would be so willing, like you're saying, marketing, to be able to talk about this more so you're not confused. If you are confused, that's okay, but
That's all right.
And it'd be like, listen, let me explain how you could read it if you're confused.
Also, read. If you're confused, read some more. Go back, read it again. Listen, we have 30 seconds left. I wanted to ask this. Are there parts of this book that, now that you see it all out there and done, are there parts that have surprised you?
Well, I think the surprise me things are some of the things I really like more, like where it's like you see the wolves walking away sad, and it's like wolves do not eat cake,
Right.
and certain moments like that are like, that's so nice.
Right.
It's like the gray city where all failed artists must go.
I know.
I do not want to go there.
I hated that
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Are there parts that make you cry? That really have an emotional resonance? 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I like the planet and the opening lines where it's like, oh, little planet all alone. That still is powerful. The planet and the words that you see right there. That opening phrasing. There's words before that, but that's just a blur of blue letters. But
Right.
then you zoom in on the planet, and then the dark letters start emerging out of that. If you read that, it's like,
so-
oh, little planet all alone.
So gorgeous.
What do you do all day? What do you see? Do you see me? I see, and it's just, then you follow those words, and it's just suddenly the voice emerged in the book.
Peter McCarty, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you again and ask more questions. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to the Epicurean for hosting us. Thanks to producer extraordinaire Jen Hammoud. And everybody have a great Friday and a fabulous weekend. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you so much.